Let's talk about apps you need to survive in Kazakhstan as a foreigner. And if you're a native watching this video, this is a deep dive into the lives of foreigners in Kazakhstan. How do we live? How do we survive without speaking Russian or Kazakh in your country? And if you're here for the first time, my name is Abraham Salakor. I am an educator and designer living in Kazakhstan. I have been here for the past 5 years. So it's been great, it's been amazing. And today we just want to hop into things you need, or for somebody that's trying to come to Kazakhstan to explore. These are some apps you might have to depend on to survive here in Kazakhstan. Let's go. When talking about the number one app you need to survive in Kazakhstan, I think there's none better than an app that gives you the direction, and that is Tugis. Coming to Kazakhstan as a foreigner, we might be used to Google Maps. Don't try that in Kazakhstan. I can confidently tell you that Google Maps are next to zero, especially in Kazakhstan. There was a time when I got to Kazakhstan, I tried using Google Maps. I didn't know anything about Tugis. I got into Kazakhstan, made use of Google Maps, and got lost. I think it's a jurisdictional thing, or probably Google Maps are not allowed here, so they don't have this in-depth information about how things work. So you will, not might, you will get lost in Kazakhstan if you use Google Maps. So Tugis. Tugis is pretty interesting. It's intuitive, clear. It has this detailed analysis of, even the path, routes, and everything. You have everything on Tugis. And when you install Tugis, it comes in your phone's original language, which means when I installed it, it came in English, and it was just intuitive. And one more interesting thing about Tugis is that when you scroll down, you get to see some interesting landmarks and various categories of some important things you might need, be it grocery stores, sports centers, everything, hospitals and the likes, even government offices. You get to see them down there, and you also get to bookmark places you might want to visit again. You get to bookmark them on Tugis. And again, when you find the place you're going to, which this might lead us to my second app you need in Kazakhstan, there's this integration that leads you to a car hailing app. So when you search for a place you're going to on Tugis, just click on the location, then you see this point of saying, okay, this is a car hailing app. Just from Tugis, you can also click on the car hailing app. It leads you to the other app, which is Yandex. It's a car hailing app, which means it's a taxi app that helps you go from a place to another place, which means I am automatically in the second app, which is Yandex. Yandex, or let me say InDrive. We still have others. We have Uber here, but not as popular. Yandex, I might say, is the most popular, and of course it is in English or the language you prefer it to be. But when I downloaded it, it came directly in English, so I didn't have to. I think it's like it takes on your system. By system, I mean your phone's language, and it was just like that. Now, Yandex came with a lot of options. By options, I mean car options. So as InDrive also, we have the carpool. Carpool is for an option where, of course, from the word carpool, which means you get to share your ride with somebody. But there's a law. You go alone. If you're two, you shouldn't take carpool because it might be an inconvenience to someone else. And also we have the economy. Economy is you do anything you want, just be it you and your friend, be you and your friends, just make sure you are not more than 5 or 20. So take economy. It's a cheaper version of cars, nice cars everywhere, and they get you from where you're going to. Comfort are like a more expensive form of economy. There's a reason I said comfort are more expensive. Well, they're okay, but I have seen cars in comfort and I wished, why not just go for economy? And sometimes in comfort, you're like, oh, okay, I love this. So the thing is just about the preference. And one thing I have noticed about economy and comfort cars also is the fact that the elderlies, they tend to put their even amazing cars in comfort. I don't know how Yandex does the selection, or maybe it's the drivers that opt to change their levels and Yandex does approve them. But one thing I have noticed about economy cars that made them so good is the fact that when these elderlies, by elderlies I mean retirees, maybe in their 60s when they want to just go out and relax, they might not really care about the money. They just want to interact with people, just exercise. So they don't care about pushing for comfort plus. No, they just want to interact with people. And these guys are the most interactive group of people you want to bought their cars. They're just interesting and they just have chats with you and you're like, okay, this is fun. So I think that's one of the reasons why we have a lot of nice cars in the economy aspect, and comfort also kind of struggles with that price and availability. Let me put it that way. I think I'll put Comfort Plus and the business class together. I barely use them, but I use them when maybe I'm going on dates and maybe meetings, maybe business meetings. I'm invited for maybe a speech, and I know people would be there to welcome me, so I take Comfort Plus. I think I've been picked up by a Porsche before. Most of the time, Comfort Plus and business classes are modern cars. They just come. They're a bit expensive, but if you can afford it, it's an experience you should just have once in a while, and it's cool. There was a time a guy picked me up. I think I took a business class. It was with my wife. We took this business class. We were on holiday and we came to Astana, something like that. And when he picked us up, dressed in suit, cool guy. Immediately we entered the taxi. He started playing Nigerian songs, Burna Boy. And we're like, wait, how did you know we're Nigerians? How? I guess he's a magician. So I think these guys are great professionals, and that's just it. Then we have minivans. Minivans are for people maybe with children, with groups of people. Probably you want to go in 4s or 5s, that's more than cars. So you opt for minivan. And also we have fastest. So the way fastest work is that you choose between two of these options. Maybe you want, most of the time I choose economy and comfort. So then I click on fastest. So whoever picks up first between the two drivers, they just come and pick me up. But enough of Yandex, let's talk about InDriver. Yandex might be the big player here, but I actually started with InDrive. On InDrive, you get to offer drivers prices. So for example, I'm going from point A to point B. You put in, let's say, 500 tenge. Then drivers get to see your offer. They renegotiate. Oh, so you see offers like 800 tenge, 400 tenge, 900 tenge. So you go for the cheapest or for the car you prefer. And that's how InDrive works. However, which is different from Yandex. Yandex does this computer-generated system that it analyzes maybe traffic, a lot of things, and offers you the price. And it gives you this fair price that's fair for you and the driver. The reason I moved to Yandex is the fact that I don't like negotiations. And I think negotiations are emotional in some situations. And I just like it that Yandex takes care of my pricing. It's fair, I must say. InDriver is also good for intercity movement. Although Yandex does that too, but InDriver is way cooler when it comes to that. They use this negotiation something to just write, oh, I am going intercity, and you see drivers calling you or making you offers. Just pick any driver, send your cargo, or you travel. So there's no need of you going to car parks or something, trying to take a taxi or something when you live in a city. Just everything is on your app. Get it done and you're good to go. One thing Yandex does great also is the fact that they offer other services too. Yandex does this food delivery stuff. They also do intra-city deliveries also. And they have these bus services that if you want to know where your buses are, maybe you check buses on, what's it called, Tugis. You can as well monitor bus movement on Yandex, and that works also. Number 3 on my list is Google or Yandex Translator. If you don't speak Russian or Kazakh, I would advise you have your Google Translator. Just use it to, I mostly use it. I am a lazy texter. Most of the time I chat with people. So when they chat me up, I just use my Google Translator to reply them. Then I have discovered that Yandex is kind of a bit more effective. Maybe they are coming from the aspect of they understand the Russian language better, so they have this more detailed interpretation or translations of English language or any other language into Russian, which is pretty cool if you ask me. Another app on my list, which is number 4, is Whiteberries. For God's sake, shopping can be a bit frustrating in a Russian-speaking country where everything is in Russian. My discovery of Whiteberries was like the holy grail. Like, thank you, I have survived Kazakhstan. So Whiteberries is a shopping just like we have Alibaba or something, but it's easier here because Whiteberries, they have their outlets in different angles of the city, so it's rather easy for you to just order anything online and just pick it up. And that's it. Whiteberries for shopping, anything you want, be it within Kazakhstan or outside Kazakhstan, they pick it up for you, and it's easy. It's even cheaper on Whiteberries. So that's it. For shopping, go for Whiteberries. Number 5 is a weather app. 5 years ago, a young man came to Kazakhstan around May. He started this beautiful life, enjoying every bit of it. Then came September, October, he went out for the first time, living life, having the best of his life, and then something happened. He couldn't leave his location early, then he left late. He got to the bus stop, there was no bus to pick him up, and the weather changed. He cried. Who is that young man? That young man is me. I am Nigerian, and our weather is practically the same all through the year. It's a bit colder in December, January. Now I use Y weather. Oh wait, Y weather is also Yandex weather if you ask me. If we research that, should be Yandex weather. So I do that, and every time I go out, the weather forecast determines what I wear. Number 6 on my list is Instagram. You need Instagram. Instagram is like the soul of business here in Kazakhstan. Well, I would say in the whole world. If you need anything, just go on Instagram. You need somebody to help you with something, go on Instagram, just click on, type anything you want there. You see a lot of businesses, and in terms of businesses, I think people are pretty cool here in Astana or Kazakhstan, let me say. They respond, and one thing is that it's either you continue your transaction on Instagram or they move you to WhatsApp, which is a beautiful app too, and you can continue your transaction there. One thing that is sure is that when you have Instagram, your life might just be easier. I am bringing 2 apps together here, and that's Accretia and OLX. Although these apps are totally different, but I'm bringing them together because of one function, that's for apartment search. If you're in need of apartment or you need an apartment, I would suggest you go on Accretia. Accretia is better a bit compared to OLX, but OLX has an advantage. I'm coming back to that. So on Accretia, go there, but there's a caveat here. When you have these 2 apps, I would advise you don't operate on the apps because the apps are in Russian and Kazakh. One thing I would say is to have this Google Translate extension on your maybe Google Chrome or any browser you have. Then when you should open these apps or these platforms on your desktop or mobile, so it automatically translates this website into English. One reason I'm putting OLX in comparison with Accretia is the fact that OLX has this platform where you can buy and sell used goods. I have seen situations where I want to maybe buy or sell things that I used. For example, when I was moving to Astana, I needed to sell some of my properties, treadmill, monitor, and the likes, and I just put them on OLX, and before you know it, some people picked them up, and that's what OLX does well. They sell used stuff, and you have apartments. You can hunt for apartments there, but you won't be surprised that the apartments you find on Accretia, you still find them on OLX because people trying to play around with the 2 and see how well they do. Number 8, we have food apps. By food apps, I'm just going to go for Glovo and Walt. We have more. We have Choco app. But basically, bonus Choco app. There's a boom of food industry in Kazakhstan. So when or if you're interested in eating out or ordering home, just go on Glovo. Glovo is in English. Walt also, I think, it's in English language. Click on them, order anything you want, and they come to you. They're pretty intuitive. Then we also have this Dodo Pizza. I have it on my phone because I love pizzas, and I love Hawaiian pizza. Yeah, that pizza with pineapple. I know you don't like to hear that, but I love it. Number 9 on my list, we have these banking apps. Well, you need to keep your money, you need to save your money, right? If you're a foreigner and, I think We have some popular banks in Kazakhstan. We have Halyk Bank, we have Kaspi Bank, we have Forte, we have Home Credit. We have some banks. I don't know, but these are the popular ones I am conversant with. Now, if you need a bank that has English interface and you can easily relate with, go for Halyk. But there's something weird about Halyk, I don't know. But the most popular bank in Kazakhstan is Kaspi. In a way, it's the most popular. But there's something funny about them. They are the most popular, but their interface is in Russian. But the thing is that even when you interact with the app in English, it responds. These bank apps are not just about banking. They have marketplaces also. You get to buy things on these apps, interact, buy things, book tickets, book flights, book what's it called, book anything, just go on holiday. They help with things like this. So it's not just about the bank app. They have other services happening within this banking apps and the like. My last app on this list is what we call MIG. I have had this app for the past 2 years and I have never logged in, but there's something I use on the app. The front page of the app shows all exchange rates. So most times when I just wake up, I just check the exchange rate and say, oh, the dollar is doing, what's the dollar doing against Naira? So instead of me going on Google to search, it's an easy app, just click on it, it shows me the exchange rate and I'm good to go for the day. So these are the apps I have in line for you today. I would like you to comment down below if you have any app I didn't make mention of and they're really useful, and also if any one of the apps I have just mentioned here are good enough for you. I remain Abraham Salako. I would like to see you in my other videos and see you later. Have a nice day. Goodbye.